Hi there, Malcolm here for my 310th Booktube video. And now yesterday I did a bookshelf tour of the rest of the books in my bedroom, excepting the ones in my wardrobe because I didn't want to show people the inside of my wardrobe. That then got this comment. Thanks, Sam. So in response to that comment, this is what I've dug out of the wardrobe. Now, I brought all the books down through to the floor of the library here, and so we'll sit on the floor together and have a quick perusal what I've got. Now, I've got quite a lot to get through, so I'm not going to go in depth for any of these particularly, unless I want to. So I'll just quickly go through them. First stack appears to be my Aliens and Predator graphic novel stack. Let's just sit down. So we have Predator Race War by Andrew Vax. Quite a thick one. It's alright. Aliens Stronghold by John Arcudi. This was fantastic. Absolutely love this one. Grab a copy of that if you see it. Aliens Outbreak by Verheiden. This is a book that Aliens Earth Hive is based off of, and is possibly the inspiration for the current Aliens show on Disney Plus at the moment, which I really need to get around to watch. Brilliant stuff. We've got Batman 2, Aliens. Aliens are in Gotham. Batman's got to deal with it. Aliens Genocide by John Arcudi again. And there's a novel of the same name by David Bischoff, who basically did the novelisation of this. Another favourite of mine is Superman Aliens. Really good one. Creatures that do nothing but kill, and a being who has promised to never kill. And Mindhunter, which is a blend of Aliens, Predator, The Darkness and Witchblade. It's a pile of crap, but it's also quite unique. Aliens Rogue by Ian Eddington. It was alright, just a bit derivative of Nightmare Asylum. Aliens vs Predator vs the Terminator. Really hard to get hold of a copy of this. Absolutely excited to have done so. It's not very good. Predator, Hell and Hot Water. Complete nonsense, and you don't know what's going on half the time. Seriously, the pages are completely indecipherable. Just what is going on there? No idea. What If Aliens? What If Burke Made It Home Alive? Effectively, really good. Want to see more of that. And then tie-in to the movie Alien vs Predator is the Civilized Beasts and Thrill of the Hunt. Small edition sized. I think they're okay. I seriously have very little recollection of them. And then we've got the Predator Omnibus, which contains the Concrete Jungle, Cold War, Dark River, Rite of Passage, Pride of Nasher, The Bloody Sands of Time, and Blood Feud. The first three are sequels to the original Predator film, and a really good series. Concrete Jungle and Cold War are in novel form. Dark River you can only get in graphic novel form. And the rest are standalone comics. Yeah, pretty strong collection, that one. Really good. Aliens vs Predator Omnibus, Volume 1, that has Aliens vs Predator, absolutely fantastic. The novelisation Alien vs Predator Prey is just so good. Best one of the franchise. Blood Time, Dual War, which is the other one that got novelised, with Hunter's Planet that goes between them. Eternal, that's a great standalone graphic novel. Highly recommend that one. Old Secrets and the Web, don't really remember those. But yeah, really good collection. Alien vs Predator Omnibus Volume 2, with its feature presentation, Deadly to the Species. As you see, it goes on for over 300 pages, and it's complete waffle. Wow, that is overstuffed. Booty, Hellbent, Pursuit, Lefty's Revenge, Chained to Life and Death, and Xenogenesis. I have no recollection of. Need to reread that one then. And then the Aliens Omnibus, featuring Outbreak again, Nightmare Asylum, The Female War, which is the main trilogy, which have been novelised, all really good. Theory of Alien Propagation, which is more of an essay really, and The Alien. Nice tie into the original film. Yeah, solid collection there. That's all of them. And then we've also got Saltier Invasion by all these people. This is Scotland's first superhero. We picked up while we were in Scotland, just to give it support. Yeah, it was okay. Basically, the Romans are invading, and this guy is created to fight them back. I wanted to like this more. Sequel to 28 Days Later, The Aftermath by Steve Niles, with these people. And it was the bridge between 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. And my new acquisitions, the Chew series I managed to pick up. So, Taster's Choice, International Flavour, and Space Cakes I'll leave a link to my review for Space Cakes, where I talk about Chew in a bit more detail. Right, that's the pile. What's next? Let's just keep going. So we have Heroes Volume 1 and 2. There's a webcomic that tied into the fantastic TV show. Only lasted 4 seasons. Season 1 was fantastic. Writer's strike hit the second one, and it never really bounced back. I do like Season 3 and put up with Season 4. I don't think it deserves the hate it got, but the stories were certainly fleshed out more in these 2 amazing graphic novels. Very short stories in them, but you get to find out what happened to certain characters that the TV show didn't cover, and all the rest of it. Next up is Species, graphic novel of the film. A couple of years ago, I actually read this along with a novelisation by Yvonne Navarro. And then we got some X-Files. So I got Firebird, Project Aquarius, Comic Afterflight, and more comics, and a few more X-Files comics. I don't think I've actually read any of this. This is ridiculous. 30 Days of Night, X-Files. And then X-Files Volume 3, 2 and 1. I have read them. They're okay. And then the Mask trilogy. Familiar with Jim Carrey's The Mask film? This is the graphic novel it was based off of. But if you like the film, you might find this a bit over the top. This is extremely violent and bloody, but all the best scenes from here ended up in the film, but slightly sanitised. Absolutely crazy. Brilliant book. We highly recommend it if you can stomach it. With a brilliant follow-up, which I actually read first, The Mask Returns. Solid sequel. And it's these books that the cartoon TV show was based off of. And then a rather indifferent third instalment. But yeah, I highly recommend books 1 and 2. And again, they're by John Arcudi. That was that pile. What was next? Oh, what over here? The Terminator Tempest. Somebody at school had a copy of this, which I read and really enjoyed. They let me borrow it, and I've done nothing but think about it ever since. And then a few years ago, a local comic book shop had it. I didn't even hesitate. I picked it up straight away. Absolutely fantastic. It's a sequel to the original Terminator, where 4 Terminators are sent back in time to stop a squad of resistant fighter humans who've been sent back to stop Skynet. So it's almost like a reverse of the original Terminator film. Absolutely brilliant. Love it. It's direct sequel, secondary objectives. Pile of crap. Really wasn't worth it. One of the boys decided they didn't want any more and thought, oh, I'll give that a go. Haven't done so yet, but I need to do it at some point. Space Dumplings by Craig Thompson. Looks fun. Want to try it. Another recent acquisitions, Marvel Zombies Supreme. Yeah, it's okay. I just didn't know who any of the heroes were. And then some comics. So I got some StarCraft. At the time, our comic book shop got a little bit sporadic in what they got us. So sometimes we didn't get a complete set of anything. So we got numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 of that series. All tying into the, at the time, new StarCraft 2 instalment. StarCraft is got to be my favourite video game of all time. And I've got Terminator Revolution, and Infinity, more Infinity, Aliens from the Free Comic Book Day, 2009, Halo Bloodline, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool, got a whole lot of that. And Uprising, 1, 2, 3, 4. Got all that. Excellent. I've got to do lots of rereading now. And then this series of Aliens, not John Arcudi again. I've seen John Arcudi a lot. Again, these from 2009. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then tying into that same series was the Predator set. 1, 2, 3, 4. I remember these being really good. And then 3 World War, the mashup with the 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Massive reread having to happen. To be honest, I even forgot I had those. Then I've got my Walking Dead collection. I've got the first 8 volumes, which I think add up to the first compendium, which sees the fall of the governor and the collapse of the prison. I've got no further than that. I've seen further in the TV show, but getting hold of 9 is very tricky. And then this is my French graphic novel collection. last year and the year before, we went to France for summer holiday, and France do graphic novels like nobody else. So I picked up Edifix and the Irreductibles, which is a series of short adventures featuring Dogmatics, or Idifix, who from the Asterix series. That's alright. The Dinosaurs, book 5, the comic strip form, lots of jokes, but also educational about dinosaurs and up-to-date research. Dan Thrakon, book 1, The Greedy Grimoire. This guy gets infected with this book and is imbued with powers. However, having powers means you get hunted down and killed. Really enjoyed it. Would like to get hold of book 2 if I can. Dusty Dawn, book 1. Basically, Dusty Dawn gets his hands on a MacGuffin, and various different factions end up wiping each other out trying to get their hands on it. Bit of a farce, a lot of fun. Set in a world where the war between heaven and hell has basically meant that the demons of hell are having to live on Earth for a bit because it's easier, and they're having to conform to life in reality. Great stuff. Game over. Attack of the Blocks. I've got a few game overs. Very little reading involved. I can't speak French. I'm having to use Google Translate to read most of these things. And these are basically some guy doing a computer game coming to some form of comeuppance on each page. Absolutely hilarious. Quick and easy to read, but a lot of fun. So this is the best of the whole series collection, Attack of the Blocks. Book 21, Rap Incident. Book 17, The Nice Sparkly Spider. Oops. Book 13, Toxic Affair. Possibly book 2, No Problemo. Block Raider. And Game Over itself is a subcategory from Kid Paddle, who is this young boy who plays these games. Again, they're in comic book form, but there's a bit more reading involved, with the occasional Game Over adventure in there. So I picked up Silence of the Lamps. I just couldn't resist that one. And a nice textured Jurassic Paddle, which again is a best of collection of the whole series. Very entertaining stuff. I've also got The Worlds of Aldebaran, book 2, The Blonde. This is a series that's fascinated me for years. There was a second-hand bookshop up the road which had the whole set in, but I couldn't afford them. And I was adamant to buy all the Aldebaran I found in France, which was this one copy, which is book 2 of the original run. Basically, they colonise various planets and go on various adventures and meet weird creatures. Zorglub, the daughter of Zed. A fun tale, very Elita battle angel, if that's not too spoilerish. And this guy happens to be sometime a villain in another graphic novel series. The Legendaries, the Stone of Javinia. There's a major quest with these 5 where they were fighting the forces of darkness and a spell goes wrong, reverting everybody on the planet into children. This book sees them all teaming up again to try and fix that problem. There's practically millions of books in the series. Very entertaining though. And Valerian and the Ambassador of Shadows. This is the book that Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets was based off of. I quite enjoyed it, so I figured I'd pick up the book, which also has a nice little article about the making of the film as well. And then finally, my Liberty Meadows collection by Frank Cho. Liberty Meadows is an animal sanctuary overseen by Brandy, Julius and Frank, where the characters go on various zany adventures in a comic strip style form. Wonderfully drawn, absolutely side-splittingly hilarious and outrageous. I think the first few volumes were serialised in a newspaper and so had a certain level of respectability to them. But by book 4, all bets are off. So there's Eden, Creature Comforts, Summer of Love, and Cold, Cold Heart. If you can find any of those, pick them up. These are well worth your time. So there you go. To everybody, including Sam, that those are the books sequestered away in my wardrobe. We do have some clothes in there as well. I'll leave links to the relevant review videos down below. And if anything that you saw that you want to have a closer look at, encourage me to reread it and tell you about it in greater detail, refresh my memory, tell you about it, then by all means, give me a timestamp or a title and I'll endeavour to try and do that. If you want to see more videos like this, then do keep asking. But otherwise, if you have nothing nice to say, then please keep it to yourself. Thank you. Don't forget to like, subscribe and other YouTube things if you want. Until next time, see you later.